Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's section of reads. This should be on the YouTube channel James13 Wicca in case you're seeing it somewhere else. The dice and decks I'm using are listed below. Other than that, if you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's also below. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into your choice. Hello Aquarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Aquarius? Okay. Nothing really. Okay. More independence. And creating that independence that you're looking for in this subject. Okay, so somebody has been trying to keep you in somewhere. Somebody has been trying to. And I feel like whatever this is, this energy, like the Emperor energy, is usually compatible with Aquarius. Sometimes talks about Aries. That's usually just baseline compatible with Aquarius. I keep getting there's been some spicy conversations, probably. Spicy, I guess it depends on how you view it. But I feel like I've been working with it. I feel like there's been a lot of conversations where it's kind of like, well, this is how we need to do this. And you're like, all right, I guess so. You've asked the questions where you needed to. You've seen how far you can go with it. Every now and then you've looked at opportunities, but been very selective about where you've been taking those opportunities. The current energy is showing me that there's a door that you are easily seeing. And you're considering, like, I'm seeing an opportunity. This energy wants to keep you in a certain place. And you're like, oh, but I have an opportunity here. And the Hierophant with the Moon card, the two of these energies together are kind of like, there's a system here. The system works a certain way, but I found a little bit of a mystery here that I can solve, and I can make this go my way a little bit differently than maybe this Emperor wants me to have. I feel like it might be one of those things where the Emperor may not be happy with you taking this opportunity. But for you, this opportunity is like, it's very, I want that. The Sun card is here. It's very much lifting the energy for you. You're not looking to make problems with other people, but also we're not here to let other people control you either. So it's kind of like if they get bent out of shape, I guess that's a them problem, because I'm not going to stay under their control just because it would make them unhappy if I wasn't. I got to do what I got to do. I'm not here to be their toy or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. This is also something where you find this, you like it a lot, but you're also very careful. The situation overall, you don't want to fall apart and you don't want to have an issue. So you're looking at longevity. I want to stay connected in a positive way. I want things to go well. I'm going to move forward. I feel like you're already knowing when you see this, because when this Sun card comes in, it's very powerful. You already know you're going to move forward with something. You're just trying to be very careful about not creating problems or fallout later that you don't want. You're caring for it very carefully. It's a new thing pulling in that you're like, I want this. I very much want this. Now this next part, let's see what we're going to get. Because there's two different patterns here, but... Okay, the first thing I got was be careful to not move forward too quickly. There's going to be a balancing out here where I could just change things if I want to, and I could just do what I want. And it's kind of like, maybe if I just do it quick, maybe if it's just ripping off the Band-Aid and then the dust can settle when it settles. I keep thinking of like when they do those videos where people are pulling things out of their nose or out of their ears, and I'm just like, oh my god. Um, you know, the wax things, like, oh my goodness. And I feel like I'm looking at it like, yeah, it'll probably be like that. They won't like it, but you know, they'll look better and they'll forget about it soon enough, right? Um, I keep getting a weird like I just want to go, and I just like maybe I should just go and just let it just it can just calm down, let the dust settle afterwards. It could be fine. Maybe I'm just being too careful with it. I feel like I'm having this energy where am I just being too careful with it, and I don't need to be that careful. This actually could have more fallout long term than you expect. You could have people getting in your way later due to this situation. It's like I never thought that this would be an issue. I didn't expect certain people to show up later, but these people not only showed up later, but now they're being a problem. Another version of this is you're going to also know that maybe it's not the best idea to do that. You're going to want to do that version. You're going to probably know that it's not the best idea. If you connect with what you really feel like is the right thing to do for you, you'll know where to go. I just feel like it reminds me of just like, I really want the donut. I really should have the hamburger. It's almost like for lunch, I can only have one thing. Maybe you're just like, I can just get one thing. I'm only going to have time to eat one thing. It's either the donut or the hamburger. I really want that donut. I really should have the hamburger. You know what I mean? And maybe it's one of those hamburgers where it's just literally, there's nothing on it, not even ketchup. There's nothing on it. It's just the hamburger with the bun and that's it. And you're like, I don't really want to eat that. But that donut, that's got pudding in it. I would really like that. But you're like, I know if I eat that hamburger, I'll be fine. I know if I eat the donut, I'm going to get a burst of energy and then I'm going to crash. And so it'll be good now. It won't be good later. So this is how I'm looking at this. Like, I know I should eat the hamburger, but I'm not going to enjoy it that much. I've enjoyed that donut so much more right now. But long term, one of them's going to serve me better. Think about your long-term success. Connect with your long-term success. If you're deciding you're going to eat that donut anyway, that's your business. I wouldn't say anything is wrong. They're just saying you might have a better outcome eating the hamburger that has nothing on it, not even ketchup. I keep getting like, if you connect with like your long-term goal, that's the Aphrodite's love spell, the long-term goal. Where do you see yourself being happy long-term down the road? Go with that. You decide what you feel is right. When this change happens, there's a lot like I feel like everything is switching. Everything is changing. This change for you is much different than it would be for everybody else. Why? Why? Because I feel like this is a change that's going to literally, I'm not going to do what I've been doing. Whoever this is, whatever, they don't have any control over you in the future. Once the past is in the past, that's where their control is too. So if they had any influence or control, that is going to completely leave. There may be other people connected to that person that are going to give you the problems later. I feel like that's what I'm also connecting to. Because it may be like, at first I'm like, well, I don't have to worry about that because I don't see this person being a problem for me later. Somebody else connected to them might be, though. Be careful. I don't know, there's something about offshoot, unexpected problems that don't need to happen. Once you move on, you're going to completely move on. And this energy itself might be in the past, but there's something else connected to it that I'm not expecting the fallout. Once you move forward, you're going to keep moving forward. There are going to be hurt feelings. There are going to be hurt feelings about whatever's changing here. The thing is about doing it the best you can and kind of like, I got to make my decisions. It's almost like if you're leaving a job, you give 2 weeks, whatever it is nowadays, half your life, what is it? And then you move on as respectfully as you can. and you're like, hey, I did my best. I can't, I have to make choices. I have to make my changes in my own life. They may not like that you left, but at least you left on good terms. That might be the difference versus just like, hey, by the way, I'm not coming in ever again. You're calling in sick? No, I'm calling in quit. I'm calling in a quit. That's what I'm calling in. Never coming back. There's the two different versions have a different outcome. And it may feel like, well, I don't think that's going to matter anymore because I'm not going to be there anymore, but you might be surprised at the fallout you get later from it. In my early 20s, I quit a job like that, and then years later, I was surprised the person that I worked with wasn't there, but somebody else who was a part of that same job I worked with later, and they had a bone to pick about that, and that became an issue. So I got my just desserts on that one. That's kind of, I feel like, where that's going a little bit. You got a lot more coming for you in this next part of your story, and I feel like they're saying, there's so much coming in this next part of your story, you'd be surprised how much that could cause issues later. You don't need these issues. You'd be surprised at how much this energy, especially when you may not realize at first that this energy is harboring some negative thoughts for you until it's too late, how much damage they could create, and you don't need that. It's almost like you don't realize there's a problem, and then all of a sudden 3 or 4 months goes by and you find out somebody's been talking really dirty about you, and other people now are having like this side eye at you, like, oh, we heard from this other person that you're not the best, and now we're kind of questioning what we want to do with you. It could become one of those. If it's handled well, let's do that. If it's handled well, it doesn't have to be like that. You may leave, and whoever this person may not like it, but you might be able to also say, yeah, but I left on good terms, and they might be like, yeah, but also made it a lot harder for the rest of us when you left. We all have to make our choices, and at least I left on good terms. This could be a better option. If it's not handled correctly, I'm getting there's going to be backlash in the future, that once you have it, it's going to be like, well, once you have it, you have it. But also you might look back like, if I had just done that a little differently, this wouldn't have to have been the headache that it became for me. And it seems like it could become quite the headache. I feel like this offshoot here, if I can leave that peacefully and try to be as generous with it, realistically generous, like you're not, realistically, you have to decide what realistically means to you. If we're at peace at that, how that's ending, I don't feel like this has to be a problem in the future. This is definitely one of those where I feel like they're saying, the way this ends, you have a beautiful opportunity coming in, but the way this ends may have an unexpected backlash later, and you don't have to have that. And they're trying to help you avoid it. I'm just in a position in life where, again, in my early 20s, I left a job a certain way. I just said, no, I'm not coming back. And it was surprising to me that the people who were most offended weren't the people I worked for. It was the people I worked with, which now, looking back about 30 years later, I'm kind of understanding why that was a problem. I kind of get it a lot better now. I think I get it a lot better now. And you can be surprised at the people who can get in your way later on based on something like that. So just keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.